back to it. All this stuff isn't costuming. This is what they wear. Training, eating, hanging out. They have shambled into the gym on this day. Peter's boots or bootlaces trailing behind him like dirty spaghetti and attack the weights. No special sequence, no sense of orderly workout. David stretches on a bench under two dumbbells, each loaded with 130 pounds, and does curls. 20 reps. It ain't easy, he says, his voice shaking, being big and being all muscle. Okay, whatever. Like they didn't warm up. 130 pounds, 20 reps, and it's always. Yeah, come on. Some of these articles, boy, the writers just really hype up stuff. All right, that's for his biceps, Peter says. When we were playing football, the coach would tell us, don't do them. Biceps won't do you any good in the game. But this is 260 pounds we're curling, and many linemen weigh that about that. There are other numbers. The fearsome seated behind the neck press, 225 pounds for 20 reps, and then 365 pounds just once. That one's performed only by the Barbarians, and they think maybe one other guy somewhere in Canada. David does a 500-pound reverse grip bench press, knuckles forward. That's frightening in its degree of difficulty. He staggers around for a few moments, huffing, and then does a 235-pound barbell curl for 20 reps. Then each Barbarian does a 500-pound front squat. That's with a barbell across the chest, with your arms underneath it. The great lung collapse of all time. Okay. I doubt they did that. I doubt they did all this in that kind of order. It just doesn't seem. You never see people do that. All right. There are other lifts, each as outrageous in its way, and as the numbers and the groans and shouts grow, gradually the rest of the gym falls silent. Otherwise brutish bodybuilders standing watching, sometimes groaning softly in unison or flexing their chests in sympathy. When the weight slams down with its metallic clang, a sigh goes around the room. As the twins work out, their clothes grow gradually darker, then totally soggy with sweat. Elsewhere in the gym, flashes of bare chests glisten under loose undershirts and tank tops. Mighty exposed thighs tremble beneath the skimpiest of shorts, but with the Barbarians, nothing comes off. Well, maybe the boots now and then, but even that doesn't really matter because their feet are covered with 2 and 3 pairs of sweat socks, the floppy toes curling around and under like feet on mustard. Okay, that's stupid writing. Stupid writing. Can't believe I'm reading this article, but I'm going to continue. All right, nothing unusual, says Lisa Schultz, Peter's girlfriend. At the gym, Lisa hovers just off to one side every day. She's 17, a shapely 104 pounds with absolutely perfect teeth and inch-long maroon fingernails. Lisa appears on the Barbarian posters with the boys. Through her mom grumps that Lisa's costume shows entirely too much bosom. The guys don't care too much about clothes, Lisa says. When these are being washed, they got others just like them. They keep all their clothes in green plastic garbage bags in the trunk of the car, and sometimes if they haven't got time to wash them, they'll just throw the sweaty, wet ones into a dryer. It's faster. Ugh. Wow. I don't know if that happened, but if it did, I believe it with those two guys. They're kind of funny. All right. See, life has been like this ever since the twins came to California in May of 1979. That's where I read it. I remember reading that part. Being a barbarian is a hectic, slapdash existence. Let's see. Our first apartment was a ratty little place on Ocean Avenue, not far from the beach, Peter says. It was also smack across the street from the Pritikin Longevity Center, a famous place in its way, particularly among dieters. Early in the morning, the Pritikin people would come out for their obligatory jog. First, they'd line up for calf stretching exercises, palms flat against the building, feet placed well back. And Peter and David would burst out of their apartment and run across, yelling, "Wait just a minute. We'll help push it over." And they'd lean against the building with the rest, pushing mightily, muscles all flex. Nathan Pritikin and staff didn't take kindly to that, and thought even less of what happened later on, a typical morning. Well, we were on this protein binge then, David says. Our muscle mass was growing and growing, so we got to eat 36 eggs a day. That's 36 eggs each. Open our refrigerator door, and inside was a solid wall of blue egg cartons. We'd soft boil a dozen at a time, see, and then pour the mesh into a blender with half a gallon of milk and some ice cream and drink it all down, says Peter. It was awful. We'd have to lie right down right away to keep from puking. He means throwing up, David says loftily. Eyebrows raised. Be nice. Okay. I don't know if that happened, but all right. I'll tell you what I mean, says Peter. Here would come this Pritikin exercise class, all sparkling in their matching warm-up outfits with a logo. Every damn one of them existing on maybe half a calorie a day. And just as they'd get opposite our apartment, we'd both come dashing out and puke over the railing of our balcony. Now that taught them something about nutrition. I don't know if that happened. Maybe it did. Maybe one of them was sick and they were around or something. But I have a hard time believing that story. Maybe it happened, though. You never know. All right. That apartment in Venice probably should be dipped in bronze as a sort of monument to free spirit and sport. The shower faucet dripped from the moment the Barbarians moved in. We begged the landlord to fix it, says Peter. So one day David said, never fear, I'll shut that thing off. And he grabbed it and gave it a huge twist and damn near twisted the whole wall down, tile and all. It never dripped again, never showered again either. The twins were thrown out. Well, of course they were thrown out. It's a matter of both pride and practicality with them. They've discovered that the throwing out process creates a sort of legal vacuum for about 6 weeks, during which evictees can stay on while disputing the action. The Barbarians now agree that all this was a bit excessive, and Mr. Pritikin might be pleased to hear that they've also modified their diet considerably. We've settled on 7,000 calories a day, says Peter, and with 2 long workouts a day and often another at night, we're burning them all off. Fastest metabolism in the West, says David. The twins now lay down on a base of carob milk or kefir, fermented milk beverage containing 3.5 butter fat, some 200 calories per cup. They drink a quart before working out and another quart after, adding occasional packets of Hostess cupcakes. Counting regular, more or less nutritionally balanced meals, including not quite so many eggs. The twins eat every half hour, so all day long. At night, watching television, they snack on popsicles, ice cream, cookies, Doritos, Captain Crunch, breakfast cereal, maintaining with all a scant 6% body fat. Impressive by anybody's count. Indeed, the Barbarians figure that their regimen, particularly the constant workouts, has put them somewhere out there far beyond any need for steroids, which they think are for lifters who don't want to train hard. And little by little, the legend grows a bit fantastic, true, but only because the Barbarians really believe about half that stuff about instinct. They instinctively feel that the best way to build a career is to leap on the public and stop it into attention. Well, they've admitted that they use steroids. Later on, in other articles that I read, they admitted to, using some testosterone. Nothing like what people are using nowadays. That's for sure. They weren't taking as much as compared to some of the guys. Some of the guys in my gym, I got this one guy, I guess he's ranked 5th in powerlifting for bench, squat, and deadlift. He's lifting a lot of weight. He can pause rep 900-pound squat. He's just an animal. I'm not sure what his deadlift is. I think the guy told me today at the gym that he benched 500 and something for 3 reps. That's pretty good. For his body weight, he benched 600 and something, I guess. But even though I knew a guy a lot lighter that did around that, but he's not living anymore. He passed away, unfortunately. But all right, let me see. Okay, this pays off in a curious way. Take that thing with a car, for instance. Well, says Peter, you know how it goes. You're busy training all day and at Gold's former location, the gym recently moved. It was all parking meters out front. So when we'd get into the car, we'd plunk the parking tickets from under the windshield wiper and toss them over our shoulder into the back seat. Then late one night, we just happened to be going the wrong way down a one-way street, says David. Cops stopped us. He watched Peter sort of lunging to get his shoulders out of the car door. It isn't easy for us to get in and out of the cars. And then I got out, and the guy radioed for reinforcements. Still, it was all very friendly until one of the cops happened to shine his flashlight into the back seat of our car. What is it with all this confetti, he says. Peter nods, reminiscing. What it was, he says, was $6,000 worth of parking tickets. The cops have taken to saying about this sort of thing. Just get out of here, Peter says. We don't know what it is, but we just get away with that kind of stuff. The cops think it's so ridiculous. Yeah, the cops said, get out of here. And then, okay. All right, it's now time to speak of secret plans and campaigns, to tell of a scheme that promises to rattle the cage of bodybuilding. It will work, of course. Ain't no way it can fail, and the boys will make even more money from the sale of Barbarian t-shirts, posters, training equipment, etc. And somehow the rest of us will all be just a little finer for it. They should have. The one thing I even asked him on the phone when I was talking to him, the one guy, Peter, actually. I asked him, how come they didn't make a training video? Because everybody has training videos now. But back in the day, some of them made it, and they were on VHS or whatever. They could have made a lot of money doing that, or filming some of their seminars and stuff. That definitely would have made money, because they were famous for in the magazines and stuff. So everybody would have bought those videos. Okay, the dog is waiting at 9 p.m. when the twins and Lisa and a friend come staggering out of Gold's gym. There have been 3 tough workouts today, and the dog has been lonely. She leaps excitedly in great black and white bounces, flapping those big paws. Sit, David says, and she sits down, plop, on the friend's right foot, and goes, well, whatever. Okay. Everybody gets into a limeade colored Plymouth Reliant K that the friend has rented from Hertz. The Barbarians and Lisa and Chang have been using the K car for a couple days. They borrowed it because all of their vehicles are currently wrecked. Getting the troop into the Plymouth takes quite a bit of time, with much shoving of shoulders and biceps and big feet, but it works out. With the dog suspended between the front seats, dueling indiscriminately on everybody. The twins are between apartments. It was because of the dog that they were evicted this time. And they've been sleeping on the floor here and there with various friends. The dog has been staying overnight at the home of a suburban pal who also owned a couple of sheep. The twins have, as mentioned, worked out 3 times today. And they haven't changed clothes once. In fact, they still soaked with sweat. Quickly, the windows steam up in the little Plymouth. Within minutes, the atmosphere inside the car is enough to make the eyes water. Tell you what, says Peter. Let's maybe find a place where we can clean up so we can get some dinner, huh? Or we can go like this. Somebody's got to shower first, says David. Or us or the dog. The dog nods vigorously and burps. Alright, I don't know if that was... whatever. Okay, but by now, all of this has begun to seem perfectly normal to the friend, and off they go in search of anyone who'll let them borrow a shower. Now for our plan, says Peter, tooling through Venice and then Marina del Rey. Everybody in the car ignoring the stares from other motorists. See, there's a reason for our wearing clothing all the time. Baggy stuff like this hides a lot. Oh, we've been seen, sure. We've been photographed a bit, and we've occasionally appeared in more or less proper bodybuilding regalia, but not often. And meanwhile, strange and wonderful things are happening under these clothes. We were big when we got here, says David, but we're monsters now. Next to 20.5 inch is unflexed biceps, 21 inches pumped, waist 31, and thighs, wow. That's funny what they're saying there. Our potential competitors fear that this is the case, Peter adds, but the thing is, they don't know for sure. Both brothers take great delight in the fact that a year or so ago, rumor had it that the Barbarians were fine as far as they went, but that both suffered from a case of dreaded matchstick leg, an impossible condition for any serious bodybuilder. In truth, says David, Arnold Schwarzenegger is 27 inches around the thigh on a good day. We are 28, easy and growing, and our symmetry is more perfect. On the day we decide to show our legs, people will cry. Whatever. Okay. And so there it is. One day soon, the Barbarians will achieve what they consider to be perfection. Absolutely symmetry of line, flawless muscle shape, size, and proportion. Their cuts, muscle definition will be just right. And only then will they consider entering a contest of any kind. I'd score them 100% right now, this minute. Trabowski said he was a gym owner. He was Gold's Gym. He's the one that started Gold's Gym. All right, he had said earlier in the day, right now they could win just about any title they wanted. No, they couldn't. Got to be really ripped. All right, but the idea is to enter, and we just want to come out and stand there, says Peter. We don't want to pump or flex. Just stand there and everybody go crazy, David said. That will be perfection. It's Barbarian, says Peter. Oh, wow. Okay. All this is eminently possible. It helps that the bodybuilding world is about ready for a stunt like this. Things have been mostly dull since Arnold went off into the movies, so the twins have but to wait for the right moment. Any day now. The problem is, Mr. America as a title doesn't really do it. Not quite right. Nor Mr. Universe, nor Mr. Olympia. They're nice in their way, conjuring up as they do visions of bodies, all oily and shining like slippery statues. But they just aren't enough for the Barbarians. A gentleman named John Flynn, who represents the twins in some of their ventures, figures that perhaps a whole new contest ought to be created and called Mr. Infinity. Twin winners. Okay, whatever. Okay, well, it's best to let others work all that out. Most likely, what they decide on will be majestic enough to fit the occasion. But in the meantime, we've got to get this car anywhere, where somebody can get cleaned up, or Hertz is never going to be able to run it again. Shower time, right, puppy dog? The dog sniffs the air happily, wagging her tail as a car sways from lane to lane. Okay.